I had to hide outside though.
It's okay because they're real bricks. They're not like the background bricks. Like,
Yeah.
when you get the wallpaper.
Yeah.
Great morning, everybody. Welcome back to Chai Together. I am here with my friend, Mrs. Jessica Boyer, today. How do you feel?
I feel amazing. I'm glad to be here talking with you. So I'm very excited.
Your first live stream. I love
Yes.
it. And I
Yes.
love your blue and the shirt. That matches the new flyer for the Chai Together Collective, too. I've been into blues for like calming. I like that.
Yes. Yeah. I'm very much a blue fanatic.
I remember. So let me tell the viewers a bit about you and then we could talk more. So Jessica is a mother, wife, friend, and IT jack of all trades. She has experienced mental health issues and was able to seek help after being raised to believe that you don't speak about such things. She would love to break down the barriers with mental health so that people would seek help when they need it. And so I think that's a really beautiful thing. And I hope everyone who's tuning in is having a really beautiful Saturday. And regarding the blues, I want to say, I remember when I would send you like the beach pictures last year when I met you through LinkedIn. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I think you would like this painting.
Yes, I do.
I love it.
I love looking at the sky and the ocean and just taking it all in. It's definitely a very calming feeling.
It is. So are you an earth sign? Do you
Am
know?
I don't know what I am.
What month were you born?
August 16th.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So I think you may be a Virgo and they love
Leo.
the
I'm actually
water.
a Leo.
Oh, Leo.
I'm a Leo. Yeah.
Oh, happy
Yeah.
birthday. Very. Oh, it passed already. Yeah. So yeah, I love water too. I feel like it's very grounding, but not everyone, like likes nature, to be in nature, like in grass or like water.
Yeah.
I
I
like
grew up on a farm, so I guess it's kind of, I guess for me, it's my home feeling, I guess, to be outside. And
Mm-hmm.
I've lived in a lot of places like Tennessee, Kentucky, and North Carolina, and I love the mountains and nature and beach.
Wow.
And yeah, I don't like bugs. I'm good.
So I remember when I was in Pine Mountain, Georgia, man, that right there told me exactly what my vision needs to be of where I want to live, because I want a tiny home, just big windows and nature. And that
But
to me is so fulfilling, just peaceful, working for myself and just doing my own thing. And I feel like that's the vision I have for myself, is just to be in nature. Like you open your door and there's nature,
yeah, when we bought this house and moved in here, what captured me about our house that we bought, our first home together, is all these big, beautiful windows. So I can look outside and,
Mm-hmm.
see everything. I have these large windows and I like a lot of light. I'm more
Mm-hmm.
drawn to light. And I had a talk with this about my coworker, and we looked it up, and it's kind of a thing. I don't know if you've heard of sundowners.
No, what is
as
it?
as the sun starts going down, more people that are attuned to like getting sundowners, you start feeling more tired and kind of depressed
Mm.
as the light is going down. So like the evening time, your energy starts dropping.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I
so
believe I believe that was like a dip in your, I don't know if this is the right chemical, serotonin or whatever it is, like in the evening when you start to get, that you need rest.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like a dip in your energy.
So as the light's coming up in the morning, I feel at my best in the morning, with the
Mm-hmm.
morning light and everything, and that's where I feel my best. And then towards the evening, I'm like, bleh. I'm
And
not in.
you do a lot of online work. So do share with us, like, what you do and, are you happy with it?
So I work with a fabulous team. I am in my first junior cybersecurity role.
Ooh.
I has been in the IT industry, support industry for now probably like a little over 20 years. But I've always wanted to branch off. I worked my way up from like help desk support, service desk, that kind of type, to like
Mm-hmm.
more of a system admin, network admin. And then as cybersecurity started taking off, I knew that's more of what I wanted to get into, which is why I kind of got on LinkedIn and got connected there. My manager, she actually found my videos, and she messaged me and reached out to me. She's like,
Wow.
"Hey, I think you'd be a great fit. I want you to apply for this."
Wow.
I know, it was fantastic. And
And
like I absolutely love my team. We're a very diverse team, and it's been wonderful. I love them, and I get to meet them face to face here in about another week or so.
wow. And was that the videos when you were making last year when I saw you
Yeah, yeah,
posting them?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It actually came
Wow.
across her feed. Yeah,
See, this is what happens when you like, show yourself to the world. Like opportunity is always there.
yeah.
It's you have to reach out to and put effort. Like, what are your thoughts on that? That if you don't do anything, then nothing will just, happen magically.
It's scary to put yourself out there because it is like, you think
Mhm.
about what people would think and stuff like that. And I just, I had been challenged by another connection of mine, Joel, and he's in
Mm.
the cybersecurity industry, and he challenged me in a challenge. He's like, "Hey, do a video, I want
Yeah,
to see
I
you do
remember
a
that.
video." He called me out. And I was like, I could do this.
Mhm.
Um,
I'm so happy. Like,
yeah,
I just want to say, like I remember when I met you. Like, I don't know why I feel a bit emotional. I think it's because of what I was telling you prior. But in general, like, I'm realizing, like, I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you for the first time face to face, and I'm realizing, like, I'm so happy. Like, it's Saturday. Like, I'm blessed. Like, this work that we're doing here, and you even like coming here and speaking, like from just realizing like last year when I met you to all the way now, it's like a big difference in all of our lives, don't you
yeah,
think?
it
It's just
is.
like surreal, like, oh wow, like that was last year. I feel like I've known you for so long.
Yeah. And it's been one of those, like, there's certain things that I want to talk about and do in leadership and stuff, because I've realized the things and contents that I put out there and what I've talked about really relates to
Mhm.
people. And even though they don't may feel comfortable speaking about it, like so many people have said, "Hey, I've gone through the same thing. Thank you
Wow.
for like doing that and making me feel like I'm not alone." And that's I've always felt like I wanted to make some kind of impact, but I'm only one person. What kind of impact can I make? Sharing my life, sharing my story, and letting
Mhm.
people know that they're not alone, and they don't have to feel alone, because, this planet is big and it's vast, but it's amazing the people you connect with and the stories that you'll share with people. Um, it makes us feel less lonely. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's been great. It's been wonderful. And I get to meet you and
Yeah, I can say for sure. Like, I remember, so when I was, completed therapy last year after 9 months with my therapist, like psychotherapist, and she said to me that I've outgrown her. And I was like, I owe my new life to her. And she was like, no, that I did the work. And that she said for me to start my own community. And there came Chai Together community. And this is where it's like, it really helped me survive during that time last year and like thrive because speaking to so many people, the socialization, I definitely had that. Most people didn't during pandemic, right? But
yeah,
because of what I do, I have that.
yeah.
So I think it's a great thing. I do want to dive into your story though. Where would you like to start? Sharing.
Um, so I grew up more in a secluded life. I was homeschooled most of my life,
Mhm.
and I'm very much an extrovert. A lot of people in the IT community are kind of introverted, so I'm the extroverted
Mhm.
one. I'm kind of
Wow.
oddball out, but I'm one of those that can get people talking together and bring that kind of out of them. And so it it's I dealt with depression going up. I knew I kind of had an idea because I'd have highs and lows, and the lows were kind of really bad.
Mhm.
Um, and it wasn't until probably my late 20s, early 30s, that I finally figured out that, hey, I could ask for help. Something's not exactly right. Um, this is not right to feel like this all the time. And I did reach out for help, and it opened the door for me to say, like, it's okay that I'm not okay at times. It's okay
Mhm.
that I feel this way. And there's help for it. Um, and even today I still have up and downs. I have my lows, and sometimes that can be hormonal. It can be around that time of the month too. I'll notice I'll have a fluctuation of my
Mhm.
mood. more
Yeah.
down. And I noticed that that comes around with that time. But, you know, and I've shared this with people. I haven't shared it a lot, but I've shared it with others that I did attempt to commit suicide several times over. And as embarrassing as that was for me, I feel like I can talk about it now openly and say, this is something I went through. This is something I tried to do. And it shouldn't come with being embarrassed, or it shouldn't be something you're ashamed for. I lived through it. I survived. I'm glad I survived. And I think the reason I survived was I need to talk about it. People need to know that people suffer quietly. Like, not a lot of people know that I did that. And it wasn't just a one-time thing. It was multiple times I tried to do this from the time I was 13 years old up until, my adult life. And it wasn't until I sought help that it was like, wow, I don't have to keep repeating this behavior. I dealt with the hurt, in a good way. Like, that wasn't something I had to do to relieve the hurt. So I faced it, what was hurting me. Talking about it, what had hurt me, what happened, was kind of one of the best things. It kind of just like dumped it. I dumped it out of myself. And, no matter what you're going through, there should be no shame with that. Even if you feel that way, even if you feel like there's no other way and this is what you have to do, I think people need to know, and that barrier needs to be like completely shattered, that suicide attempts or thinking about suicide, there's so many more people that go through that than what we know, because since it's been such a shame cap put on it. And yeah, so when I've shared my story with that, they're just like, wow, like, I've had people say, I've went through that too, and I've been so quiet about it. And I want people to know that there is help. There's no shame in it. We're all here together. We're all here for each other. And I'm so glad I'm here. I'm so glad I lived through it. And that's my give back to the community is, let's start breaking those walls down with mental health. Let's start talking about it. Let's be open with each other and honest. And that's one of the things that I absolutely loved about you is your honesty. You're just willing to be open. It was beautiful, and I felt like I connected with you on that level.
Wow, I could tell it was a bit right now, like, hard for you to, say all that. Like, was it like emotionally? Yeah, I could tell in your voice, but. See, it's my first video when I did, speaking in my 3-minute video for the Les Brown program I was in. That was my first time when I recorded on my phone and, it went live to people. I sounded just like that. I had such anxiety. I was like, like I had to breathe and take, because it's such heavy stuff. You never said it before. And
I've never said it live to out there, I've said it to close friends or, maybe colleagues, but like, it's actually kind of a freeing thing too, to feel, this is me. This is what I went through. This is what I did in my past life. And this is, I'm here, I'm alive. And I'm so thankful that I have a beautiful life. And sorry, beautiful.
No, it's okay. I told you, I was like, I feel emotional too. I feel like it's a Saturday. Like, I just feel like it's, like, honestly, it's like really surreal. Like, it really is surreal, because it's like, wow, I made it. Especially when you make it, like, you love your job. Like, I remember when you were looking for a job, and to keep that hope alive, and you love your job and your kids. I think one of your daughters graduated last year, right?
My
Like
son,
all
my son
your son
graduated.
graduated.
Yeah.
Apologies. Yeah.
And then I have
Like
a
all these things.
stepdaughter. I have a
Yeah.
stepdaughter that graduated prior
Yeah,
too.
there you go. Yeah, your stepdaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Beverly. She said focusing on gratitude is healing. I really like that. And
Yeah.
thanks for saying that regarding me, because my whole life I was told to like shut up, and that I speak too loud, or I tell my truth. I used to like physically, verbally, emotionally get abused for telling the truth, like get beat on for like being honest, an honest
Yeah.
person, like being too honest. In the world, like don't tell people like our family business, don't this and that. It's like I have to express myself. I need to share with friends. You can't hold burden onto yourself. So I just feel like you're making me realize like what a courageous thing I do by just speaking my truth. And I'll be honest, like releasing my collective and knowing my story, like, in the document, how truthful it is that I'm putting this out there. Anyone can see, like, it could be some family or anyone. It's like, you have to fight the fear and do it anyway. And it's like, will I get attacked for this? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's kind of like Nelson Mandela, Oprah. It's like all these people who had to fight the fear and put their truth out there. Even regarding the abortion last year for me, and it's like I was told, in our culture, we don't talk about that, to act like it never happened. That is very unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and speaking about that, I grew up, and it wasn't until my daughter was born at 27 weeks at 1 pound, 4 ounces.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't until I went through that I related, because I grew up pro-life. You don't ever do that.
Me
You don't
too.
ever do that,
Me too. Me
and
too.
it wasn't until me and my husband, sorry.
It's okay.
I knew that what I didn't want for my daughter, and I knew if she was getting bad, or would have to come to the time where we let her go, if there was no other way they could save her. I didn't want to put her through pain.
Mm-hmm.
Being born at 1 pound, 4 ounces, it could go either way. They give you a certain percentage every day of her chances, and they give you the worst case scenarios of what can happen to a baby born that small.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew, like, I was in the bathroom. We stayed with the Ronald McDonald House. And I remember being in the bathroom and just sobbing, because I had to know that at a certain point, if she was getting bad, we had to make that decision and let her go. And I started thinking about that for women that make those choices. Who am I to say they should have to carry to full term? I've went through miscarriages.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted my pregnancies, and I wanted my babies, but that is such a hard emotional thing to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about what happened in Texas, I miscarried past 6 weeks, at home. To be accused, can you imagine being accused of and be put in jail because you miscarried your child that you wanted?
Yeah.
Because they couldn't tell if you had an abortion or not. That is so damaging to somebody. And I don't feel like it's my place to tell other women, don't have an abortion, or don't do this, or, there's things that happen in a pregnancy where either the life of the mother could be at risk, the baby is not going to survive, that's an emotional trauma, and that's their own story and their own life, and I'm not pro-life. I'm pro whatever the choice that woman has to go through to make. So
Yes.
my stance and my mind has changed so much on that, just because of what I went through with my daughter and the choice that I may have had to make for her because of that. I'm very happy that she survived, and she's beautiful and thriving. But I also watched a lot of I watched a lot of parents walk out of there empty-handed.
Wow.
And I had survivor's guilt because I got to walk out with my baby and they didn't. And I watched nurses break down and just bawl because they couldn't save the other babies. And it's such a personal and emotional thing. And until you're there, it's hard for you to put yourself in those places.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's no way that I would ever judge you or anybody else for the choices that you made because it's so personable. You know, I can't ever know what that felt like for you. I know what it felt like for me, but I think people that are pro-life need to stop and take a step back, you know, and say, you know, look at this is not their life. They can have those beliefs and that's fine. But you need to love people through their choices, you know, good or bad. You need to respect that and love them anyways. And yeah, that's how I got to where I am with that. And it's there's different traumas and things and emotional things that you go through. And if people have, even though it's opened up my eyes, because like I've kind of been like towards really judgmental people, and then that side, and it was just like, how can you judge people like that? Well, on that side too, if you've never experienced that type of trauma, if you've never experienced the things that I've experienced or you experience, you just don't know until you're in it. And so it's more like ignorance. Like they're told, well, you should be like this, but until you're there, you're not going to have that understanding. I mean, some people do, and they do care, but I feel bad for the people that they don't know. And it's just ignorance. And I think the more of us that talk to it and explain and share our stories, it could change minds. It could change lives as well.
I like that. Thanks for sharing that. I didn't know we connected on that as well. I didn't know that about you yet.
Yeah. I had 4 miscarriages, 2 before my my first daughter with my husband and 2 before my second. And yeah, it's definitely put me in a different mindset for people, and it's made me love people more easily.
I like that. Yes. So, you know, and also a friend of mine mentioned regarding miscarriage that that's also an abortion. You know, your body aborted it itself, you know.
Well, you mentioned that because I read my medical records after my miscarriage right before my premature daughter. And it said abortion, and it kind of threw me. I was like, I didn't have an abortion, you know. It kind of like almost like a slap in the face, but it was on my medical record. That is a medical term that happens during a miscarriage. And so when the Texas thing happened, like, does that mean that people that have miscarriages and that's on their medical record as a medical term, are going to be put in jail for that? How awful would that be? That the baby that I was carrying and that I wanted, because that's in my medical records, I could be in jail for. Like, that just blows my mind. And it makes me really sad. It makes me really sad for a lot of women out there. Whether they choose to or their body does it. It's a sad situation.
Yeah, Miss Beverly said miscarriage or natural abortions. It needs to be explained to more families. Definitely. People don't know. Once again, it's, you know, it's ignorant. I recently read an article that someone wrote of their opinion being pro-life, and of all the reasons, of every reason that, you know, you and I are just like, you know, we have to care about our own mental health, etc. But to them, it's the opposite. It's, you know, a baby's body's not our body. But it's interesting because unless you go through it, like you said, it's like a friend of mine also said no one should write about that unless they've been through it. Like if you don't have experience and you're writing a blog regarding a matter that you never went through, you know? So it's easy to talk the talk, but not everybody could walk in our shoes. So I was inspired that night and I posted, I don't know if you saw, a 6-minute video reading from my book I'm writing on my abortion. And I read like an excerpt from it. And I was so inspired after I read that. I was like, I need to speak up. And I was just so heated in the sense that I usually don't associate myself with people who, are on the opposite end, but I respected and understand the person's perspective, but I don't feel like they've been through life. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing has happened with you yet for you to grow up and really understand what that's about,
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I've talked to women that went through miscarriages themselves, and just in the last few years, really talking about miscarriages has been a new common thing where women suffered in silence with miscarriages. After my last miscarriage, before my last baby, Scarlett, I kind of had a mental health breakdown after that because I lost the baby about 14 weeks and I started bleeding really heavily, really bad. I almost had a blood transfusion because of it. And then I wasn't trying to get pregnant again. We weren't trying to get pregnant. I was still trying to process all that emotionally.
Yeah.
And then I found out I was pregnant after our next cycle. And I kind of just lost it. Like, I just lost it. Like, I ended up leaving my job. I just had an emotional breakdown because I was not ready to do that again. I wasn't fully recovered. And I think a lot of women still suffer in silence about it, about that loss you feel. Whether it's your body doing it, whether you made the choice, there is an emptiness and there's a loss that you feel emotionally too.
That's right.
That you have to get through and get over. And people need to be more understanding of that as well. And you can be pro-life, and that's fine, but also you need to respect people's opinions, decisions, and just their walk in life, what they go through. I am not you. You are not me. I respect you. And I hope people will respect me that I've been through things. I can identify with people that are hurting emotionally, physically. To Beverly's question there, no, I wasn't offered counseling afterwards.
Wow.
Yeah, there really isn't. I remember being in the hospital and I was crying. And my husband was there and he was trying to console me. And this was before they took me back to surgery because they have to do a D&C. And I remember this nurse coming in and she just hugged me and she prayed over me. And it was so beautiful because she wasn't even my nurse. She wasn't my nurse. And she was so sweet and so caring. This one.
Who's that?
That's my 5-year-old Willow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, there was no counseling afterwards. There was no, here, maybe you should do this or nothing. Really, I don't think that is. I don't think that's not typical. I don't think they even offer that. And it should be. It should be in the hospitals. If you go in for something like that, they should at least have somebody come in and talk with you or offer counseling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
yeah.
I think there's a lot of people and women that suffer silently. And I remember one of my miscarriages that I didn't have to have a D&C. It was early. I remember I ended up trading out doctors, but the male doctor that I have he was so robotic about it and so unemotional about it. Just kind of like, this is what happens. This is just kind of went through this robotic, and that was it. And I felt so just like unhuman. There was no human connection with it. Just like, you're a number, you're a patient. This is what happens. Goodbye. And
Wow.
I ran out of there crying. Like I was bawling. I ran out of there.
Dramatic.
Yeah. And fortunately, I got back in with my OBGYN. She got me in, and it's so different when you have a doctor that cares and shows that cares and shows that human emotion connection. Because after my last miscarriage, she hugged me. She came in and gave me a hug, and she's like, "I'm so sorry." You know, that made a huge difference for me between one miscarriage and another. You know, just having that emotional human connection, and I appreciate that about her.
It is about human connection. It's really interesting, and it just came to mind that I know you work in tech. You know, you do a lot of work online,
Yeah,
and maybe some people have this perception that, oh, you know, some people are nerds, or you know, that you're also robotic. Like engineers, you know, it's just like working online all day. Like, are you even emotionally in touch with yourself? Are emotionally intelligent in other areas of your life? But you
right.
seem to really be. How come that is? Is it because you know yourself, or?
I think I've always been in touch with my emotions. I can always remember being a little girl and seeing, or I'll share this story with you.
Mhm.
I was probably about 4 or 5. I had this little friend in pre-K or kindergarten, and I apologize.
It's okay.
um, so I was about 4 or 5. I was going to a little Christian uh, Christian school.
Mhm.
I had this little friend. We were buddies. Me and him were just amazing buddies. His name was Jacob.
Mhm.
And back then, you know, in the 80s, there was a lot different set of rules
Mhm.
that applied when you, his mother was an alcoholic.
Mhm.
And she came to pick him up one day, and she was drunk. And at the time, back in the 80s, they couldn't really do anything.
Mhm.
They let him go with her. And I found out when my friend didn't show up for class that, sorry, I'm moving.
Mhm.
I found out when that he didn't show up for class that he had passed away. He had died in a car accident. His mother was an alcoholic. And he went through 2 windshields.
Wow.
In the back seat, unbuckled. And I can remember I had to have been only 4 or 5 years old, but I'll never forget. She came to the memorial we had for him at the school, and for some reason I knew that was his mom. I don't know how I knew that was his mom, but the look in her face, I'll never forget it. I looked up at her face and just the sadness and the depression and the overwhelming guilt that was written all over her face. I can remember every inch of it. And my heart went out to her. I never knew what happened to her. I know that she didn't go to prison or anything like that. They figured that killing her own child was, she suffered that way. But somehow, like, I just felt an overwhelming, just my heart went out to her at such a young age, like 4 or 5 years old. My heart just like hurt for her.
Mhm.
And I hurt because I didn't have my friend anymore. And yeah, that's the first memory that it's really weird.
Wow. Wow. That's
Yeah.
really deep. And
Yeah.
where did this take place? What location again?
Here in Lawton, Oklahoma, and it was a Christian school that used to be here. It's no longer here. His little plaque is
Yeah.
still there.
Wow.
I've always wondered what happened to her.
Wow.
I've always thought about her from time to time. And so yeah, that was my first real, as a young kid, experiencing that. I could see and recognize that on somebody's face, that pain, and my heart going out to them.
Willow.
No, that's Scarlett. So that's
Scarlett. Oh,
yeah,
my.
that's the preemie.
You got to open her box.
It's actually her daddy's box of condoms.
She's so funny.
She is. Sorry about that. It's life.
You have kids. Yeah, that's life.
It's life.
Wow. Would you like you're gonna look for her now? Did you ever think of that? Like
I don't know her name. I don't remember the last name or anything. I think I've asked my mom, and like I don't think she remembers either. I do, in connection with my kindergarten teacher, so I thought about asking her if she remembers it.
Maybe this is a sign,
Yeah, but I've always thought about her because I can still picture her face. Hey, I'm talking.
The glasses.
Yeah,
because I feel like she may be in a home. Maybe she's in a home. Maybe I don't know. Maybe she, maybe she took her life after that. We don't know.
Yeah,
that's like really heavy to live with.
Yep.
Beverly said, "I think it's a sign." Yeah, because that'd be really amazing if you go visit, if she was in a home or something, like say like, hey, like, just as a pal, like,
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
In and out. I love that.
I'm being chased down.
I don't know how you get work done. Okay. I just don't know.
She's trying to shut my laptop.
I don't know. I see your face now.
Yeah.
Wow. She's back.
Yep.
Aw. Well, it's okay. I can let you go. It's okay. Would you like to share anything else? Like, do you have a big dream? I want to know that. Like, do you want to do more, like regarding humanity?
I do. I've always had the dream of somehow making when my life is over, I've wanted to just be at the end point and feel like that I made some kind of impact. I helped somebody. And even if it's just one person, I've had different people placed in my life over the years that have impacted me. And so, my dream is just that in some small way, even if it's just one person, that to help them, move on, or to help them achieve something they've wanted to achieve, or be an encouragement. I didn't want to leave this earth without leaving some type of mark, and I hope, my hope is that even through my children, that I teach them the kindness and to love people where they're at. Yes, I believe there's evil. I believe there's really bad people. And I believe there's things you don't have to accept. I'm raising a generation up of women. I have a lot of girls. I have one son. But I'm raising up a generation of new women and a young man that will continue on long after I'm gone. And the things that I wanted to instill to them is, is kindness, and to love people where they're at.
I really like that. A lot of people are not able to do that, to meet people where they're at.
Yeah.
So I like that. This is one of my favorite videos that I've done. This was so raw. I think it was the most rawest and pure. Hi there. Are you sleepy? What is going on? Okay, bye-bye. So yeah, like this is amazing, that you're able to, free yourself, and as your first like interview, you're able to speak, to this extent. That was really awesome. Like, you could do more of this, maybe
Yes.
your own videos,
Yes. Like I said, my only thing, my only goal, my only dream is that I help. I hope I can reach out to people and help them. It's all about connecting. We're here on this earth together. We have to share the same space together. And why not? Let's go. Why not love people? Why not love them and help them and be as a community? To share the space together. Because just talking to you, hearing your story, listening to the stories of others that have been on your program, do you feel that whole connection? All these people and all our stories are somehow combined. We're intertwined with each other. And what better way to do that than love people? Love them in just their moment, in their journey of where they're at. And people need love. People need to know they're loved and cared about and supported.
Wow. I'm definitely going to cry, Jessica, after this. No, it's so true. One thing I want to say is I feel like a lot of people have forgotten about love in this pandemic. Like, as in, everyone's focused on the word COVID, but I haven't really heard, honestly, you're the first person I'm hearing talk about love. Like, no one comes on here and talks about, like, how love is the answer, Yeah.
Yep.
That is so true. Are you showing off? Like, what's going on? You modeling for me? Like, wow. I really like that. Yeah. You're all about love. I could see you. We'll talk another time, but I definitely feel like you should make something, regarding love, like whatever program or like whatever, kind deed you want to do. Make it about love. I think that's a big deal. People need love now,
Yeah, more than ever they do, because it really hurts my heart to see how much we've been in a division because of the pandemic. You have people that for vaccine, for mask, not for mask. There's so much division and there's so much strife right now that it feels so just almost like a huge disconnect.
Wow.
And people, like, we all need to feel like respected and loved, and we need that more now than ever.
Wow.
We need that understanding.
Wow. I just feel so like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Like, you're so amazing. Like I know you have your job, but I can just see you, like, Mel Robbins and Marissa Peer. Like, I could just see you, traveling and speaking, and like, if you wanted that, like, I'm saying, I can see you on stage talking to people about the importance of love, like, or however you would want to talk,
It is. Love in its raw emotional state, to sit there and look at a person that you may not know, you may not agree with.
Is she gonna break them? I don't know.
She's trying to wear them. She likes my glasses.
I remember I heard that it can affect their eyesight. That's why, like, right? Is that true?
I don't know. I just know that it's my only pair of glasses.
I know, right? Be careful. Oh, my.
It is something so raw and so emotional, to where you can look at a person you may not agree with, you may not understand their background, but you love them just for being a human being. They're a human being.
That's so deep. If you've mastered that you need to teach a class on that. If you've mastered that is very spiritual. That's what, like, Buddhism is about, to, not let anyone bother you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, accept all people. She's a wild one.
Yes, this is my preemie. This is my preemie I'm talked about.
Is that why she's so angry?
She is a spitfire.
Wow. How do you I don't even know how you text me. Like, I don't even know how you, like, I don't understand. Like, how does anything get accomplished? Yeah, like, I don't
experiences. Wow. Juggling. Yeah. I worked as a waitress in my younger days, so I learned to juggle.
Oh, I love that. Hey, girl. I love it. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope you have a great day with your family.
Thank you. And I hope you have a wonderful day as well. And I just want to tell you, like, you're amazing. You're beautiful. And what you're doing is so inspiring. So please
Aw.
don't give it up. Keep going, because more great things are out there for you. And
Aw.
I just want to encourage you, like, keep going. You're rocking it and you're awesome. And I love it so much. And I love you. I think you're amazing.
I want to cry after this. Like I said, at some point, like I need to release some myself. Thank you for that. You know, it's thank you for that. Like that's what keeps me going is when people's feedback, because otherwise it's really hard to just do this every day without any uplifting, you know, because you're not always there's never, I'll be honest, there's never a time where I don't want to do Try Together. It's something inside of me, like God put, like, you know, since what I experienced like that, it shook me up that this is like, it's my passion, you know, I get joy from this, but you know, if you're not feeling well or something, it's like to know why you're doing this, you know, that reminder, like your why, like, why do I do this? You know, there's no Try Together without Pratibha Day. You know, I am my brand. Like if I don't get up and do something, nothing's going to happen. No one's going to come and do it for me, you know?
Yeah. And I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you invited me. And I'm glad you've had this platform because it's needed. You're needed. We're all needed for a reason, you know, and we're here to help each other. We're also, as a human, we're just humans and we're here and we're on this journey together.
Oh my God. I want to just hang out with, like, I want you to put all this in a book. Like, I want you to like put all this info somewhere, you know, where you could just get the Jessica Boyer experience, like video, like, hey, I'm Jessica Boyer. And like, we're going to talk about love. We're going to talk about, like, people don't talk about these simple things. I'm telling you, I talk to so many people.
It's so pure and so raw that when you get to a place that even when you're in front of somebody that you may not agree with, you may not like, but you just love them because they're a human being, or they're having a bad day and you're like, you know what? I know you're having a bad day. I know things are probably sucking for you right now, but I'm here. I'm here. If you need anything, I'm here for you. You're cared about. People just, they need to know they're cared for as a human being and that they're loved.
Wow. That level of understanding and awakening, like you're truly like, you have that enlightenment. Like, I know we're not supposed to use that word just, you know, but it's, you know, because that word is for, you know, yogis and mystics, like really highly, like the gurus, but it's like, you have that, you have that thinking, you know what I mean? Like you have that thinking. That's not everybody does. People are usually angry and things, you know?
Yeah. And I'm not here to say this is been an easy journey to learn how to love people in their own human form, in the ugliness, in the goodness, the ugly, because we've all got ugly parts about ourselves. I had ugly parts about myself. I have a temper. I get mad.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
People may not know. I sure do. I go 0 to 100. I'm a fire. So, like, I'm a fire.
Yeah, my husband will tell you that. He was like, "Whoo, you got a temper." I'm not perfect, but I'm a human being, and you know, raw honesty is what we need. You know, I'm human just like you are. I have the same doubts. I have fears, sadness, joy. I've experienced it all. And I've gotten to a place, I'm 40 years old. 40 years old.
I was going to ask you, I was like, how young are you? I was going to say like 36.
I am 40 years old.
Wow.
And I'm in a place that I love myself and who I am.
Wow.
So it makes a difference when you finally get to somewhere that you can look at yourself in the mirror and not hate the person you see.
Wow. You know, you're still here.
I'm still here. I have so much life in me.
Wow.
And I have a lot of love and respect and support that people They need that. They need that. You know, there's times that God puts you in people's lives and places and to say, I care about you. I love you wherever you're at, whatever
Wow.
journey you're on, you know, you're cared
Wow.
about.
Wow. Wow, this is so beautiful. Like I'm gonna watch this again and again. I'm like post these parts. This is so amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
This is great. I'm just so captivated, you know, in what you're saying is so raw, like you said, you know. So it's like it's surprising, you know,
It's
people don't talk this way.
it's been a process, you know, because I'll have days where I'm like, oh, the world is so ugly. And it's like,
Mhm.
there's so many people that are just ugly toward each other. And there is. I mean, there is. You see it. The pandemic is, you know, politics, everything. It just seems so ugly. But you know what? I'm here. You're
Mhm.
here.
Mhm.
And
Yay.
if we can spread just a small amount of beauty and love to people and
Yeah.
change their hearts and minds,
Yeah.
I mean, we've done a lot. We've done a lot.
Wow. I love it. She's very active. You're very active, Scarlett.
Oh, yeah. No.
All right. Thanks for your time, Jess.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks for those tuning in. This was really amazing.
Bye.